Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Now here's the story. I 26M found out my fiance 27F possibly gave a stripper a handjob at her bachelorette party. I deleted my earlier post because I was so messed up about it. At the time I realized it wasn't healthy to have a conversation about it yet. I made that post right after the guy called me in an attempt to cope, but it didn't work. My thoughts were getting too dark and I needed to completely separate myself from the situation for safety. After holding myself up at my parents' place and surrounding myself with people I could trust, my head is back on straight and I'll fill in those who asked for an update. A quick recap for those who didn't see my original post. I will refer to my fiance as Jane. One of the bridesmaids' husbands contacted me and told me he had seen something that made him suspect Jane had been sexual with a stripper at her bachelorette. Any sex or romantic kissing outside that relationship was a complete deal breaker that was established when the relationship had begun. When I asked him for details, he indicated a handjob in a roundabout way. When I asked if he could be mistaken or misinterpreting a text or overheard conversation, he kept insisting he was 100% sure. I personally know the bridesmaid. I think she was feeling guilty and she was using her husband as some sort of a proxy informant to keep my girlfriend from coming after her when I confronted her. When I got off the phone with the guy, I was so destroyed about it, I just shut down. I had just had my own sort of non-bachelor party at home playing WoW Classic with some friends. So to hear this news after such a wonderful day hit extra hard. My cousin, who has been friends with Jane since childhood, went to the party with her. So I decided to try to calm down and wait until the next day to ask her if she saw anything. At this point, I was still hoping this was some sort of misunderstanding or mean prank. Jane didn't live with me, and she was planning on staying the night at her parents' home, so I knew she wouldn't show up unannounced. I basically laid in bed all night staring at the dark ceiling, listening to the doors and Opeth, trying not to lose my mind. I waited until noon the next day to call my cousin. I wasn't able to get through the first 5 times I called, red alarms going off like crazy now. So when I suspected she was avoiding me, I went over to my parents' place and used my dad's office line. When she finally answered the phone and realized it was me, the somber tone in the voice of a normally annoyingly upbeat 23-year-old party girl pretty much told me everything I needed. Me, I heard things got a little crazier than usual last night. Her, yeah. Me, I think you already know why I'm calling, don't you? Her, yes, obviously holding back tears at this point. Basically, long and weeping cousin story short, I found out Jane did indeed give a stripper a handjob, along with several other women, some of whom are in LTRs or married. They then decided to leave the house they were at and drive intoxicated to the strip club afterwards, where Jane and a few other women had private dances. My cousin tried to argue that this doesn't mean Jane doesn't love me, and it was just meaningless fun that got out of hand. This fucking infuriated me. I didn't shout at her, but I told her if that's what she thinks, she has no idea what love actually is. At this point, I informed my parents and brothers what was going on, and of course my mother started crying, another person hurt by this stupid bullshit. I spent the rest of the day laying in bed at my parents' house staring at the ceiling, ignoring Jane's calls and texts. I know some people have more open relationships and can get past this stuff, but I'm just not that guy. I'm monogamous all the way to the center. I eventually canceled everything and lost a bunch of deposits. I know it's a bitch move, but I broke up with Jane over text. I decided it was best to just walk away clean with no serious confrontation. There was nothing to gain by shouting, arguing, making accusations, and calling her names. When people are cornered like this, when they do something wrong, they can lash out, and I didn't want to have the woman I was about to marry say horrible shit to me in some sort of defense of her behavior. I am fucking heartbroken and feel betrayed, and that kind of shit isn't going to help. I just sent her a text explaining I know what she did. I explained I don't want revenge, I'm not interested in humiliating her or her friends and spreading it around. But it is a sure sign that we aren't right for each other, and it is over with no possibility of reconciliation. I waited until she responded once to make sure she got the text and blocked her on my phone and all social media. I gave the crap she had at my place to my cousin to give back to her, and I haven't heard anything from her or her family since. I still feel like hammered dog shit, but I am doing better as far as not feeling like a black hole is sucking me inside out. But this wasn't like the breakups I had in high school and college. Something broke inside me this time that can't be repaired like before. My confidence is completely destroyed in my body now, I keep thinking about what it was about the stripper guy that is so incredible that he could make a seemingly faithful woman cheat and potentially throw away everything. Was it bigger muscles, bigger dick, better looks, better personality? I'm not a supermodel, but I'm decent. I don't act like a bitch or a pussy. Or am I just stupid? I was 100% sure of this girl, yet I got cheated on right before our wedding. This kind of crap really takes a man's soul, grinds it up, eats it and shits it back out. Update: someone from her camp finally contacted me. Her stepdad called me tonight to ask what was going on and if there's any way to fix things. I didn't give him any details. I just explained that Jane stepped outside the bounds of forgivable behavior in our relationship, and there's absolutely no way to salvage things. And any time spent trying by any party is time wasted that would be better spent moving on. When I said that I could tell, he understood what it meant and basically what happened. He's a pretty laid-back, old-school Hispanic dude. Said he's sorry things didn't work out and wished me well. Wasn't super close with the guy, but I will miss hanging out in his garage shooting the shit about motorcycles and stuff. Second update: I just got done talking to the bridesmaid's husband again, who first called me and let me know what was going on. I don't know him, but I am a friendly acquaintance with his wife. Apparently what happened is his wife became extremely uncomfortable when some of the women started grabbing and stroking the stripper's dick, and she left and went home. When he asked her why she came home early, she got upset and spilled the beans. More than likely to protect her own marriage if it got out, I would guess. Anyway, dude made a moral call and decided the husbands and boyfriends of the women had a right to know how their significant others were acting when they weren't around. And he made his wife give him all the contact info she had. Seriously, I owe this guy so much. Had I found out about this a few years down the line, the end of the relationship would have been so much worse. His wife still won't talk to me, but it doesn't matter now. I told the dude when things settle down, I'm going to take him out and buy him every beer in the bar. Had this dude not had the moral fortitude to make the call, I may have never known. It's been 10 days since I received the call that ended this relationship. I'm almost back to normal, although I can't quite shake a bit of malaise. Thankfully, I had a few days worth of PTO to burn while I worked past this crap. I already scheduled my 2 weeks vacation this year for the wedding, but since it's canceled, I'll just spend it with the family and have a very extended Christmas with them. Outside of a few texts from Jane to my mother when things first blew up and her mother calling the next day after I talked to Jane's stepfather, I haven't heard a peep from their clan since. Jane's mom tried to act as a mediator between us, but I shut that shit down and told her it's not possible. She can be a bit pushy, but thankfully she realized it wasn't wise to push this time. I finally got to talk to the bridesmaid whose husband called me. She didn't offer any more details and I didn't care to ask for any more by the time I talked to her. She just called me when she felt comfortable enough to wish me well and tell me she was sorry for what happened. She's a very nice lady and I feel bad for her because she works with quite a few of those women. And I don't envy how they are going to treat her at work. I asked her and thankfully none of them have any managerial authority over her, but it still sucks to be ostracized. As far as any of the other women, I haven't heard a thing, and my cousin has done a vanishing act. My mom took care of canceling all the wedding invitations as she was the one who helped send them all out. I asked her to just tell everyone that Jane and I had a change of heart about getting married and decided to put things off for the time being. Frankly, I'm fucking embarrassed about what happened and don't really want to be known among family and friends and people in town as that guy whose ex-fiance jacked off and possibly screwed a stripper right before their wedding. I'm sure it will eventually get around, but if I let it fade like this, it will be more of a crazy rumor than confirmed fact for most people. I really just want to walk away with as little drama as possible and move on with my life. I've asked my mother to text Jane's mom to get the engagement ring back. Hopefully she won't give me any trouble as they were expensive, and a buddy of mine is willing to buy the ring set for exactly what I paid for them for his wedding in a few months. I told him he'd better not tell his girlfriend where he got them just in case she's worried my ex was wearing the ring when she was handling stripper guys' joysticks. I lost thousands in deposits for the venue, DJ, florist, catering, security, plane tickets, honeymoon suite, etc., etc. I'm hoping I can recoup a little money by selling the rings. Anyway, I've decided to stay away from LT-Roz for an indefinite amount of time. This experience has made me very gun-shy about love and relationships and all that mess. People have sent me all kinds of encouraging messages claiming I'll eventually find the one. I'm doing my best not to be overly pessimistic, But when looking at the divorce rates and all the crazy conflicts between men and women these days, I'm starting to think the chances for anyone to do that are getting lower with each passing year. And I'm not the kind of guy who gets over stuff like this by running out and dating some other woman to sport hump right afterwards. So I think I'll just stay single for now and focus on my passions and work. Anyway, thanks to everyone who gave encouragement. If anyone else goes through something heartbreaking like this, I highly recommend you stay with family and or close friends you have a good relationship with. I can't overstate how much this helped, especially if you are a guy. Men don't really maintain a circle of support for stuff like this like many women do, and you can find yourself isolated and descending further into a bad place without positive reinforcement around you. I was able to lay on my childhood bed, in my childhood room, in my childhood home surrounded by good memories, having my mom come in and bring me tea and food and say sweet encouraging things about how much she loved me and how proud she was of me. I was able to shit talk with my dad and brothers to distract myself. It helped a lot. Best of luck, everyone. Thanks. If you would like to see more videos like this, please hit the thumbs up button to like the video. Also comment, share, and subscribe.